certain games.
In the state of Florida, but it's also important we not stick our heads in the sand and take a cold, hard look at economic indicators that may not make the headlines or make for good sound bites. And one of those is the CBI. That's the Construction Backlog Indicator. And joining us this morning is Anirban Basu. He is the chief economist for the Associated Builders and Contractors. Mr. Basu, good morning.
Good morning.
First, tell us about the CBI. Explain that to us, and keep in mind most of us are not in the construction industry, so make it so we can understand it.
Sure. It's an indicator that characterizes activity in non-residential construction in America. The non-residential construction sector of America includes construction related to refineries, office buildings, airports, seaports, so on and so forth. Specifically, the backlog indicator is a reflection of the amount of work that contractors have under contract, and that is work to be done in the future. In other words, the greater the backlog, the busier our contractors. The shorter is backlog, the less busy are contractors, and the more desperate they are to find new work.
All right, and where are we right now, and how often is this taken? How do you compile the CBI?
Right, we do a survey of Associated Builders and Contractors members. There are about 25,000 members nationally, and we survey a sample of them each month, and we report out our results once every 2 months, and we just reported out our results for January of 2010.
And give us the highlights of that report. What is it telling us?
It tells us that non-residential construction continues to be mired in its own idiosyncratic recession, and that, in fact, the outlook for that segment of the economy is getting worse. Backlog at the national level is down to 5.5 months. That's the lowest reading on record. And in Florida, backlog is down to 5.1 months, which is also the lowest reading on record for the state. In other words, in 5 months, if contractors are not able to line up new work, they will be done.
We're talking this morning, we just tuned in to Anirban Basu. He's the chief economist for the Associated Builders and Contractors. We're talking about the CBI, the Construction Backlog Indicator. Now, as you look at this, can you draw any forecast from this? Can you see any major trends?
Yeah, I think so. Things will get worse before they get better. Non-residential construction has a tendency to lag the overall economy by 12 to 24 months. So it's probably been the case that the U.S. economy has been out of recession for about 9 or 10 months now. Recession probably ended around August of last year. That's to say the economy began to grow. And so one might anticipate that under normal circumstances, the non-residential construction outlook should be getting better, that in 3 months or so we should start to see signs of improvement. But our indicator, the Construction Backlog Indicator, is a leading indicator, and the outlook has been getting worse. Not just the current situation, but the outlook. And I would expect that for those who work in office construction, hotel construction, retail space construction, that things will be extraordinarily soft, at least through the balance of the year.
So what you're saying is contractors keep looking for another job in the meantime?
Well, contractors need to find ways to stay busy, and there are a number of ways to do that. One of the most obvious is to try to get federal work, because federally financed work is still on the rise. There are other niches as well that are on the rise. But, in Miami this year, another 1.3 million square feet of office space will hit the market. It's unclear why that's happening, because the economy won't necessarily support that square footage. But once that square footage has been delivered, I would foresee very little new project starts in Miami over the next year or so.
1.4 million of office space coming on the market. How much is on the market now? Every place I go, I see space available, office for lease, make us an offer kind of signs in the windows.
Yeah, that's right. When you've got double-digit vacancy rates in Miami and in much of the country, the office vacancy rate nationally is in the range of 17%, and so what is happening is that we're still seeing product delivery of projects that were financed and planned when the economy was decent and when financing was available. Much of this product is being delivered at precisely the worst moment in economic history, but this is sort of the nature of things normally, and that's what we're seeing now. But of course, it means that recovery in non-residential construction is further postponed. It's going to take the market quite some time to absorb the new 1 million plus square footage of office space in Miami, and you have similar circumstances in Tampa, Orlando, Jacksonville, so on and so forth. And so the outlook is not pretty, and I would expect that for those people who work in retail-related construction, office construction, hotel-related construction, that recovery is at least 2 years away and maybe longer than that. And that's not just a Florida story. That's in many parts of the country.
Absolutely. If somebody wants to get a look at your the indicator, the CBI, where would they go online to do that and read more about your organization?
Pretty simple. They'd go to abc.org. That's the website for Associated Builders and Contractors, abc.org.
All right, thank you so much. Anirban Basu, he's the chief economist for the Associated Builders and Contractors this morning on News Talk 850, WFTL. Partly to mostly